My next guest, really, he needs no introduction. He's an attorney, he's an actor, he's an activist. Unfortunately, he's an alpha. Hill Harper is running for U.S. Senate.
Because every child in every neighborhood, in every town across Michigan deserves the freedom to flourish. I believe our government should work for the people, be a force for good, and protect our freedoms. And that won't happen if we keep electing the same type of people to office. That's why I'm running for the United States Senate.
Harper is running for the seat currently held by Democratic Senator Debbie Stabenow, who is retiring. His main challenger in the race is Elisa Slotkin. Despite his celebrity, it's going to be an uphill battle to engage voters. A CNN poll done earlier this year found 86% of people had no opinion of Harper. The majority also had no opinion of Slotkin. So the man joins me now to break down why he should be your next U.S. Senator. My good brother, Hill Harper, so good to see you.
Hey, Mark, how are you?
I am good, man. Let's start with your campaign announcement. It was essentially a letter to your son, who you adopted. What led your decision to be a single father?
You know, it was God. You know, I wasn't looking to adopt at the time, and I'm just lucky that Pierce chose me to be his dad, that God chose me to be his dad. It's the best decision and best thing that's ever happened to me, and that's what was so challenging about, and the reason why I launched the video with its Dear Pierce is because as I was talking to folks about what are the biggest decision-making factors about running for office, it was literally that I know how all-encompassing it would be, and it would take me as a single dad away from being there all the time with my son and running all over the state of Michigan. So you see all these political ads, and they're all BS, and I think people are tired of that. They're frustrated with the BS of politicians in general. And so I just wanted to be very authentic, and that's what this campaign has been all about.
Yeah, and it came off as very authentic, and it's not just time with your son, which is precious. You also left the hit ABC show The Good Doctor. You also rejected a $20 million offer to drop out and run for the U.S. House instead, and you're still battling to win over Michigan voters, which is a righteous fight that you're undergoing, in my opinion. How are you hoping to reconcile these sacrifices with the work you need to do to win this race?
You know, everybody in this country, working people are making sacrifices all the time. Mark, you know that. And so if you want to represent working people, the great thing about our candidacy is that, it's an uncompromised leadership for Michigan workers. That's what we are. I'm a 32-year union member. And Michigan is about jobs. It's about work. It's about bringing work here. We're 49th out of 50th in growth in the country. We keep losing a congressional district every 10 years because we're not growing. We're not seeding and feeding this amazing manufacturing history and manufacturing sector. And it also speaks to our communities that are atrophying. I live right here in Detroit. To come home, I get up on I-75, I get to the corner of Oakland and Owen. That corner in the north end of Detroit used to be vibrant. There's a record store on the corner. There was Phelps Lounge down the street. You had a market and Irene's Market and Eli's Produce right there. Now all you have are vacant, burned out, boarded up buildings and a perfunctory liquor store. The only thing you can buy are Funyuns, Faygo, Werner, or Hennessy through 3 inches of plexiglass. We're collectively acting like that's okay. It's not okay for the north end of Detroit. It's not okay for Flint. It's not okay for Pontiac, for Benton Harbor, for Muskegon. It's not okay for Kalamazoo. It's not okay for any of these communities. And they need real representation, which they have not had from the federal delegation.
You are a cancer survivor. You're an author. You're a graduate of 3 Ivy League universities. You're an attorney. You have all these experiences. What do you say to the voter, though, who doesn't have those experiences? The voter who says, how can you relate to me when I got my Hennessy and my Faygo? How can you relate to me, when I'm from those parts of Detroit that have been underdeveloped and not treated well? What do you say to them?
I was on 7 Mile the other day, and a young brother came up to me and said, your presence is a present. And people know. They look you in your eye and they know if you're real or not, and they know if you're authentic. And that's what I found all over Michigan. Folks want people to show up, and the frustration they have with these career politicians and folks they've been electing is that they come and ask for the vote, but then they disappear. You don't see them again. You have zero access to them. And then they come back 6 years later and ask for the vote again.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. And voters will certainly be making a decision to get a new candidate one way or the other. The question is what kind of candidate, and you certainly represent a different breed of political candidate. You look different than just about any other U.S. senator we've ever had. I can think of one exception. I think y'all know who I'm talking about. Either way, Hill, thank you, my brother. It's always good to see you, my friend. So good. Best of luck with your campaign. Everybody, if you want to find out more about his campaign, all you got to do is visit hillharper.com.